Hello again, everyone. Well, I'm back from my lovely, lovely long weekend birthday treat. Our son booked this oast house in Sussex for a long weekend for us, and he knew that I'd always had a hankering to live actually in an oast house. My parents-in-law lived on the south coast in the East Sussex for many years. And in the area, there are lots and lots of oast houses. Oast houses were built long ago to dry the hops for beer making. And I just love the shape of them. Anyway, we had a marvellous, marvellous weekend. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. And, I so enjoyed my birthday. Opening those cards, so many people sent me cards and messages, and opening the cards and looking at them, reading the messages, it was wonderful. It really gave me quite a lift. So I had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. So thank you everyone. Anyway, I am back and wondering what to do for a card, and I thought I'd play a little more with some of the Craft Addiction butterflies and some of their stitched dies that come with the slatted circles and the one that's like the one that I did the threading through of the ribbon for the anniversary card. I think that's that one between some of those circles. What I thought I would do with those is just kind of emboss them into a small panel to make a decoration for a backdrop for the butterflies. This piece of card was printed with a download from Pingwing, and it's just a watercolour background, and I absolutely love it. This time I've got a section that was more sort of greeny. So I think I'll probably be adding a little something to these, maybe a bit of gold, maybe a few pearls. You know how it goes. Anyway, what I thought I would do is just to cut a little piece as a very, very small backdrop like that for this. I suppose what I could have done really is cut a couple of butterflies out of that. I think I'll do that actually. I'll cut a couple of butterflies out of this so that I don't waste it all. Will I fit two? Let's have a look. Where's the small one? I might fit a tiny one. That's the one I was talking about, that one came from. Here's a tiny one. I can get a couple of butterflies there and still get my surround for my backdrop. Okay, let's just cut these out and then we won't waste quite so much. Take them from the centre. I spent a bit of time doing die cutting some of these things, because I think quite a lot of time is wasted, because you know what die cutting is. You just, unless there's something special to say, I don't really need to say again how to die cut. Okay, so that can go on there, and no one is any the wiser that there's a couple of bits missing from the back. So that can go onto our card, but I want to emboss this with some of these things. So what I'm thinking is this. Can't pick things up these days. Noticed over the weekend this thumb was so painful, this knuckle. I can't bend it any further than that. That's a bit of arthritis, I think, really, but I can manage without it, so that's fine. Right, let's just, what are we going to do with this? I just want, let's bring this over here. Just a bit of an interest in the background. I don't want it to be too regular. If that's going to go there, that might be okay. Let's try this. The reason that I wanted to use 3 all at the same time is because if I were to use just one and have the same one, do it here, there and there, on subsequent passes through the machine, the first ones that I embossed would be flattened and you'd lose the effect. So if you can grab a couple from a couple of different sets, then, you know, that is useful. Then you can just put them all on at the same time. So that's going to go on. This is going to be such a simple card, isn't it, really? That's going to go on there. This is going to go on here. And that's going to go on there somewhere with maybe a little sentiment. So let's start messing about with... what I will do first is just to go over the edges here. This is a die cut piece. This is, I don't know where the die came from. You know those sets of dies that come as a bunch, and it cuts the card base, it cuts some panels for it. You know, I don't know the make, can't remember, but I think that's what that's from. It's not. It's a slightly deeper rectangle than the ones in the nesting sets. So there we go. I'm just going over this edge just to round it out a bit. Edges cut with scissors or a guillotine or a trimmer. Well, not so much a trimmer, but guillotine and scissors always look kind of very raw. And this just rounds them over. Let me just stick this onto here. Actually, before I do that, I may put a tiny bit of gold on the edge of there. Let's get out my gilding wax. Never more than an arm's reach away. Right, let's find an applicator. This is just little applicators from Amazon, eyeshadow applicators. I'm just doing this on the very edge, so not much of an angle on this at all. Just the very edge, because it's not very wide to start with, and so, you know, if I covered up the colour, it would have been a waste of card to use it in the first place, wouldn't it? So there we go. And we went to Hever Castle on Saturday, had a look round. It was the home of the Boleyn family. And there was all sorts going on. There was jousting and the horses were there. And it was, you know, really good stuff. Right, I'll stick this onto here. A bit of adhesive over the edge. That's better. Okay. Nice. Now, I want to do something with these. I think this is going to have some gold. Mostly gold. I think I'll just have a slight bit of colour showing. I did wonder about cutting it from white, but then I thought to myself, no, I'll have just a tiny bit of colour showing. And these, I think these can have a little bit of adornment. They're really lovely. I'd like to put something else on. I'm not quite sure what. I think I'd like some a little bit over the ridges, maybe. Gosh, you can see it falling down there, can't you? Can you see on the mat? This is just the merest. There's practically none on there. Okay. Gilding wax does take a while to sort of set. And if you touch it, and then, you know, you will get it on your fingers, and then you can dab it somewhere else. So you do have to be a little aware. my daughter and her family are in California at the minute. They've been to Yosemite and they've had a wonderful, wonderful time there. And at the minute, they're in Santa Barbara, having a really wonderful time. Okay, now what do we want on else? Do we want on that? I'm just trying to think what sentiment I would like, actually. I'll stick these together. I can always add some bits and bobs of decoration later. Just going to try and put just a little shape into this chap, rather than just be flat. We'll just round him a little bit. There we go. Look, he looks more three-dimensional. Excellent. I ought to do what Jennifer Maguire did and put one of those bits of folded acetate behind, so that if it's flattened in the envelope, but when it's opened up, the what's the resistance, I suppose, of the acetate to being folded pushes the wings up again. I have to do that again sometime. It really was fun. Right, next, what we're going to do about a bit of decoration for these little... There are, of course, sequins we could have, or we could have pearls. Let's have the pearls, and I can always add gold to them if I don't like them as white pearls, or any other colour for that matter. Could try some blue, couldn't we, or green, or something. I think I'll put some little tiny ones on the ends of the feelers. I hope they'll stick on the gilding wax, because sometimes gilding wax doesn't like things sticking to it. Right, let's just see these tiny ones. Oh, nice. I'm going to put some on the body. Ooh, getting carried away now. I have to see if I can find some more of these. It's so difficult to find tiny flat back pearls. You can get huge ones. I bought some that were supposed to be for nail art, and they're so difficult to get off and on. I have to keep persevering with those and see how I go on. But I'm just wondering about a few gold splatters. This old ink makes quite nice gold splatters. I'm not very good at it, actually. It's one of those things that I've shied away from for years because it was kind of all or nothing with me, and it probably still will be, but I'll try. Get my spray box. There it is. Okay. Let's get a brush. There's still a bunch there, but it's probably been sitting for a while. Okay, what can I use to hit it with? Let's just... It's going everywhere, but on the butterfly. It is going absolutely everywhere, except on the butterfly. It's going on here, look, all around, but not... Oh, there's a bit there. Perhaps I'll persevere. Oh, goodness me. That's a better way to do it, isn't it, silly thing? Oh, that's pretty. Told you I was no good at splatters, didn't I? Okay, let's pop the top on this. We'll move. That is really sweet. So if we just pop this onto some foam tape to raise it slightly, there's probably less likelihood then of you seeing through the shadow of the card that there's a bit missing. If it was right next to the card, it might show up more. While we were away, at one point, my son and his wife wanted to pop into Tunbridge Wells, Royal Tunbridge Wells, to have a look round, and Phil didn't want to go. He doesn't want to traipse around, and we've both actually, Phil and I, been to Tunbridge Wells before, so we said we'd stay behind at the Oast House, and Cleo was going to go with the mum and dad, and then she suddenly came back and said, I want to stay with you, Granny. So she stayed, and we thought, right, now's our chance. We have a few games with Cleo, and she got all these fabulous games. One of them was called Horrible Histories. Now, in this country, there is a kids' series, and it gives all the grisly details of things that used to happen donkey's years ago. So she had this game, and actually it was a really, really good game. She got far more answers correct than we did. And it was one of these things, you throw a die and you start moving around the board, and according to where you land, you either get a question or you don't get a question, or you get a horrible chance, which can do nasty things to you. But her knowledge is incredible, and she kept us entertained for ages. It was wonderful. I really, really enjoyed my time with her. She's such a bright spark. And then, of course, we had to play another game. What else did we play? We had to play, well, we had charades. We had kids' charades. And there's another game, Say What You See. It's a bit like Dingbats, and that was good fun as well. Oh, we had an absolutely brilliant time. Absolutely brilliant. So I am just now looking for, or thinking about looking for, a sentiment to go on to here. And I think I'm going to do it either a die cut one from some, I've got a little tiny piece here, look. That's what's left of the sheet of A4 that I started with. Been using it for various things over weeks. Let me find a sentiment, and I'll be right back. I had a look through my dies, and I thought I would use a thank you. Having just had a birthday, I am in need of thank you cards. You can imagine, can't you? Anyway, this one, I think it's a memory box. Can't remember exactly. I should have a look. And I cut it out thinking, well, there's not much left here that is the right colour for that butterfly, because this butterfly was out of the part of this piece of card that was much more green. So I thought, if I try and start to colour that, then it's a bit fragile. It might, it might fall apart. So I thought I'll cut another one, but I'll colour it first. I'll try and use some Distress Oxide inks. So the colours that I sort of thought would go with this are Salvaged Patina and maybe either Broken China or Mermaid Lagoon. Either of those two. So let's just have a go and see what we can kind of come up with. Let's just take a look. A little bit of Salvaged Patina, see what this does. If I put it on with a brush, it's not going to be as intense as it looks in the doodad. Okay. It's only going to be in thin writing anyway, isn't it? So let's just see. Let's try the bit of Mermaid Lagoon. It's a bit much, isn't it? Let's try the tumbled glass. It's calmer. It's not far off, is it? I will put a bit more of that. Let's just cut it out and see what this looks like. It's not, I need a bit of the deeper blue again, don't I? The colour chart that I use, this one, I drew it in Word, and I have put a copy of it on my Facebook page. If you go back through photos, you should be able to find it. And also on my YouTube channel. If you look on my YouTube channel, you find there's a picture of me, and then there's some headings, videos, playlists, and one of the things is posts. It used to be called community, but now it's called posts. If you click on that, you'll find this chart. You can just print it for yourself and put your own colours in that you've got. It's also useful as you're building up your supply of the colours. You can then see straight away which ones you still need to collect. And these ones, rather than putting in alphabetical order or any other order, I've put it in colour family. So we've got the reds, the yellows, the greens, you know, sort of rainbow colours, and then the neutrals at the bottom. So that's what I did. But this looks to me, I want a bit of this deeper colour somewhere. Let's just try a bit of this Mermaid Lagoon. Let's just see. Now, I'm just thinking I wouldn't mind a few bits of gold on it, but the spray boxes, I think there's more chance of missing it than hitting it with this, but maybe a little bit of gilding wax might just do a little bit of something. Let's just see. I just love gilding wax. Pebeo is my favourite. Well, I've used this for, well, you can see, I've been going at it for years and it's still going strong. When it's as fine as this, there's just no need to have the exact piece of paper that you started with. You know, you can just cheat. If you haven't got any left, you can colour something to make it look as if it actually was part of it. Okay. I think all I'm going to do, let's have a look at what these look like. I think it looks in keeping, don't you? Maybe a bit more gold. It looks to me like it needs something. That one looks kind of a bit spotty, so how about if I use a spotty stamp and just stamp over it with a bit of something or other, just to, you know, slightly deeper colour. Let's just see. If you stamp with the same colour that you use in a brush, it'll come out much, much deeper. This will just make odd bits of colour. Just won't make it quite so flat. That's better. Okay, I think that'll do. I do play about, don't I? All right, let's just stick these onto that. Patented method from Natalie. Don't know if it's patented really, but you know what I mean. It's a jolly good idea. A chopped off basting brush. Okay. Get where I can reach it properly. Pretty. Love that. I don't think you would have known really that that was not from the same piece of card. Okay, I think we're nearly there. Goodness me. It's good to be back. It was wonderful to be away. I must confess, I had a lovely, lovely weekend. As ever, thank you again for all those lovely messages. It's really, really... Oh, I haven't stuck that down, but I will do. It's so kind of everyone, and I do appreciate every single message. So come back and see me very soon for a little bit more fun at my craft desk.